Radio, Rahim with Johnny Nelson in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We've been talking about this. It seems like for ages, once this fight was announced, like talking about what it would be like, how this might feel to the boxing audience, and whether or not it's right to be here. What has your week been like?
Okay, so whenever this change, it's going to be met with criticisms, and people are going to be thinking, are we going to be very aware of it? This is Saudi Arabia's chance to open their doors to the world, to say, right, this is what we're going to do. Remember the time when Ali boxed Foreman in Zaire? The political situation at the time. Not many people can remember it, because all you remember is the fight, the event, and that's what Saudi Arabia is now trying to do. They're trying to open the doors to the world, to say, look, this is us. Let me introduce you to our country. This is our world. So, and what they've done, they've chosen the biggest fight in the world to do that with. So for Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz, I can understand why they've done it. I can understand there's a lot of dough involved in it. I can understand how they can change, or how they can put themselves into history. So now the fight itself, Ruiz is 3 stones heavier than Anthony Joshua.
But Johnny,
10 pound heavier.
Before we go there, your experience. And so my point is, everyone was speculating on what it would be like. Very few people actually had an idea.
I will tell you, so I was the same. I thought, man, what am I to expect? I've never been over to the Middle East.
Right.
What I've seen, my personal experience, it's been good. They've been very professional, very polite, very courteous. And so if it's a game, it's a great game, because you know what? I felt very comfortable. I felt very at ease, and that's what the impression I've got. That's what I've seen.
Which one of these fighters do you feel like will be the most at ease? I noticed Joshua seems calm here. He talks about this place as though it makes him comfortable.
Yeah, he's very comfortable here, Anthony Joshua is, and in the Middle East, I know he comes back and forth often. But so does Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, he looks comfortable wherever he is. I think he's very unassuming. He'll kill you with that smile, that twinkle in the eyes, of to say, "Oh, I'm so grateful to be here." The problem now for Andy Ruiz is this: everybody knows who he is. Whereas before, when he stepped, unless you're a mad boxing fan, when he stepped into the ring, you just saw a little fat fella. And he likes that. He wants you to underestimate him, disrespect him. He's like, okay, I'll try my hardest. Can I hold your belts, please? He was asked if he'd let Anthony Joshua hold his belts. Right. Excuse my French. He said, fuck no. That's what he said. So that tells you sometimes people play the fool to catch the wise. So when he's smiling, he's playing the game with you, he's doing it to think, I'm a fan, but I'm going to kick the shit out of you when the bell goes. So now we all know his game. We all know if Andy Ruiz has been focused on Anthony Joshua for 3 years, since winning the world title. The responsibility of a champion is to be able to take on anybody within 12, 10, 8 weeks notice and defeat their game plan, which they've had from day one if you win the title. So Andy Ruiz has been plotting and planning. This is how you get Anthony Joshua. This is what you got to do. So regardless of him having 5 weeks notice, he knows his game plan. Anthony Joshua made the biggest rookie mistake and thought, and what happens is when you've got a fight coming in and you've got to fight them and your original opponent drops out and a standing steps in, you think, oh man, you don't respect him, you're deflated. He did it with Andy Ruiz. He had to pay the price on a massive scale. He'll never do that again. I can go back in history and look at fighters that have done that. Remember Lennox Lewis when he boxed Vitali? Vitali was a stand-in. You remember the fight? It was a tough fight. Lennox won, but I've seen fighters that have lost when that's happened. So what I'm saying is, every fight will tell you when an opponent's changed, it's hard to keep upbeat and think, right. But now, both fighters have the same amount of time to prepare for each other, mentally, physically, emotionally. This will be a different fight. And that's when I'd look on this.
What do you imagine would be the most determinative factor, the deciding factor? It's one thing that can swing the fight one way or the other. What would that thing be?
Well, I think it will be Anthony Joshua's ability to stick to a game plan. Andy Ruiz has to change nothing because what he did worked. Anthony Joshua has to change everything because what he did didn't work. Anthony Joshua didn't box great, but still was the only man to put Andy Ruiz down as a professional, but still lost. So therefore something nearly worked, but not everything. The one thing you can't buy or borrow, pretend to have, is experience. Andy Ruiz has been boxing since the age of 6. Anthony Joshua has been boxing for 11 years. So Anthony Joshua now has got to do what he did. However he managed to capture and get so many wins and be so successful as an Olympian and as a world champion, he's got to absorb this information, think right, since our last fight, I have to make sure I stick to a game plan. I have to do X, Y, Z, whatever they've worked on. But he has to stay disciplined to do it, because there might be a time when he hurts Andy Ruiz and thinks, right, I'm going to jump in like he did last time, and gets clipped.
Is there any
show discipline?
Is there anything that happened on this stage today? Now we've seen the camps, they've weighed in, we've seen what they're going to look like, at least close to that on tomorrow night. Anything happen on this stage tonight that informs you about tomorrow?
No, yeah, everybody raised, and there was a gasp of Andy Ruiz coming at 20 stone 3 and Anthony Joshua coming in at 16 stone 13. But it shows the mindset. Andy Ruiz was spotted having 2 curries and a pizza on Sunday. You know, he's uncomfortable being, you know, the little fat. He likes that. He's all right. I don't mind. Laugh at me. I'll show you what happens when the bell goes. Anthony Joshua has had to stay focused and been smart. He probably gets that. He probably all that lactis had to build up when he was fighting him the last time. And so he thought, I've got to pay attention now. I've got to live in the gym. When you box, when you train to fight, or when you're a fighter, it's got to be your life. You've got to live, eat, sleep, dream boxing. You've got to live in the gym. It's got to be like walking, talking, drinking, smoking, whatever. It's got to come natural. You can't fight, disappear for 3 months and turn up 3 months before a fight, because therefore you're not developing all the time. Anthony Joshua can't afford to do that at this level because he's not been boxing long enough. So now he's had to learn a harsh lesson and get his ass back in the gym.
If Ruiz is successful tomorrow night, what does that mean for Anthony Joshua?
Well, I will tell you, for Anthony Joshua, if it was me, the hardest thing is he'd be in the Who Needs Him club, because he's too dangerous, too fresh, hits too hard. He's got a lot going for him. So why would a young fighter coming through, trying to get to a world title shot, fight Anthony Joshua? Why would he do that? Anthony Joshua's a multi-millionaire. So he will say, you know what, I'm sticking at this, I'm having this. But I just wonder how long for. 2 or 3 fights down the line, I don't know, and he'll have to go back, lick his wound and reassess. I know he does a lot of stuff out of boxing, but he can't afford to think like that. He's got to think, no, this is me. He's saying I want to box for another 10 years. You know, that's you've got to set goals like that. But if I was Anthony Joshua, I think long and hard about what he wants to do after that, if that was the case. But I could see him fine having a couple of fights after that.
After seeing what Deontay Wilder did to Luis Ortiz a few weeks ago, win or lose, how do you see Joshua or Ruiz facing Wilder?
Right, so Deontay Wilder has shown he can be outboxed. We saw that with Tyson Fury. We saw it with Ortiz. Right, but I am telling you now, after seeing what he did before, I'm telling you now, he's the hardest hitting heavyweight of all time. He didn't even pull the shot back, he triggered it, boom! The hardest hitting heavyweight of all time. He only has to hit you once. So no matter how far behind on points he is, that's it. So if you can get past it and you can avoid getting hit once over 12 rounds, then you win. So what I'm saying is you can have a smart boxing brain to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, the only heavyweight I see out there being able to do that is Tyson Fury, and he got clipped. So what I'm saying is, Deontay Wilder has proved, yeah, I might not be the best technical fighter, but I'm the biggest puncher. So you get in the I'll take you out. You've got to respect him for that. And that's, you know what, as far as I'm concerned, it's not about age. It wasn't about age for Ruiz. He just got in there with a guy that can punch like a mule kicks, and he proved that.
The only other active fighter I can think of who openly says, I don't care about technical boxing, I'm just here to go to war with the biggest punch. And no, Derek War Chisora. Even Dylan is a boxer. He wants to.
The only guy I know that I personally think that would be able to dissect that would be Dylan, because Dylan's just crude. He's rude. This guy wants to fight. You meet him outside, he's a moody little fucker. Yeah. But I like that. You know what I mean? And Derek has shown he'll get to a certain level, and unfortunately he'll get beaten when it comes to world level. But he's the kind of guy that you do not give a chance and blink an eye and give a chance to. So I get that. But Dylan Whyte is the only guy I look out there and think, shit, he'll be on your chest. But again, Deontay Wilder hits shit, whoever it is, I say knocks everybody out if he hits him. That's if he hits him.
Well, if Derek hits Usyk, what happens? Is Usyk too clever?
Just tell me this, because I'm hearing stuff today that Usyk is now fighting Parker. I'm hearing stuff today that and I said to Jen, well, yo, what's going on? Today I'm hearing Usyk's fighting Parker. He went, no, I'm fighting. I went, all right then. Let me see. And Usyk, if it is the case, and Usyk fights Derek Chisora, then it's another introduction for Derek, for Usyk at the heavyweight level, because he's got to get past a gatekeeper in Derek Chisora who will stick to his chest. And if there's any chinks, Derek will find it and he'll beat it out of you. And actually, out of for Usyk, out of the two to fight between Derek and Parker, he's better off fighting Parker.
Why is that?
Because Parker is less in your face, less on your chest, less unpredictable. Parker will box, he'll try and be smart, but Usyk is a master technician. And I said when this guy was in his 7th professional fight, that is the heir apparent. And so if he's guided right, their timing's right with him, he's fought right, and they put him in with the right fighters at heavyweight, he has got the chance to be top of the tree. So you can't push him too fast, too far.
Lastly, what are the chances that Andy Ruiz comes out of nowhere and becomes the guy who unifies the heavyweight championship and becomes undisputed? Because if he were to beat Joshua, he has a definite path to Wilder.
I get that, and enough respect to Andy Ruiz because the guy's on point, but he can be beaten, and you've seen how he can be beaten. Josie Parker beat him, and it was tight, it was close. Josie Parker's not the biggest puncher, and technically probably not the best technically, but he can be beaten. But the problem with Andy Ruiz now is everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows what he can do. Everybody's being subtle and looking at him thinking, right, I do this, that. And so he had the art of surprise. You get in with Andy Ruiz, you think, it was this little fat boy here. I did with that. Bam! You're gone. He's no longer got that. So everybody knows who he is. That is his problem. And that's the problem and the responsibility of being a champion. The other thing is this. Andy Ruiz is now beating one of the most famous current heavyweights in the world. And if I gave you $50 million, are you telling me that won't change your greed, your hunger, your mindset, your attitude, your focus? Would you turn up to work the next day? When you come back, you bought all the cars, all the houses, you're taking care of your family's family. Everybody's good for life, set for life. So the thing that's motivated you all your life to make sure everybody's safe and good, that's ticked off. But so you still got to get up at super o'clock in the morning, every morning, and still have that same drive. I don't believe he's human. And there's a responsibility to wealth. So all of a sudden it's hit him. So the next 3 or 4 fights, he's got to get used to his lifestyle. He's a superstar now. You see him, he's driving Bentleys, Rolls Royce. He's the gate doors are open to him. He's everywhere, bling everywhere. Now you cannot tell me that has not changed his mindset. Where he's been able to take care of his wife, his kids, his mother, his cousin, his brother, everybody, and they're living large. You know, you can't tell me it's not changed his hunger, his desire, his push. You can't tell me that. And so it's a responsibility you've got to take on. I'm not saying it's not going to divert him, but what I'm saying is it's a lot to take on and settle down with. He's got to get used to that for 2 or 3 years and then think, right, I'm all right, I can handle this.
We're at the end of 2019. When we sit together 12 months from now at the end of 2020, who will be undisputed heavyweight champion of the world?
You know what? Okay, I'll give you an argument. If Tyson Fury boxed Deontay Wilder the way he did in the last fight, Deontay Wilder beat him. But if Tyson Fury boxes how he should be able to box with the skill he's got, he beats everybody. Deontay Wilder, if he touches you, excuse my French, he fucks you up. Anthony Joshua, if he gets through this, he is the one that they'll think, I want to fight Anthony Joshua. He's the one. He's the vulnerable one. We've seen him being beaten. And then the problem will be people will have the same attitude they had before, thinking, I beat this young man. They need to stop Anthony Joshua now before he's fully fledged. He's learned all these lessons. He's learning a lesson right now. So on top, you asked me that question. That's a hard one to answer between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. If you'd asked me before the Ortiz fight, I'd have said Tyson Fury. But now I look at Deontay Wilder, I think, you can't even argue with it. I sat down, just shrugged my shoulder, thought, shit, you can't argue with that. You're just taking him out, but bam. It was a 4-inch shot. It was like that Bruce Lee shot. Boom! It was like he didn't even pull it back. And so I just like aghast. I thought, shit, nice respect.
So I take that as Deontay Wilder. No one's going to put your house on that bet. Nobody knows what happens a year from now, but if you were to have to, that would be your assessment.
Saudi Arabia, where you're from now, you never know. Deontay Wilder might be the guy on stage. You know, you never know.
Radio Rahim, I never know, but when I want to know, I tap Johnny Nelson on the shoulder and ask him what I need to know. Radio Rahim with Johnny Nelson in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Tomorrow night, Anthony Joshua tries to reclaim his titles against Andy Ruiz in Diriyah, a stadium built for this moment, a stadium that only those who are here tonight will be able to see.
Let me tell you about this stadium. So it took them 5 weeks to build this stadium. 170 staff, boom, put it up there. The stadium will be taken down within 2 weeks. The chairs are going to Tokyo. They've built this specially for this event. This is how special it is. The world's media is here for this. This thing is big. It's like Ali and Foreman in Zaire. The whole world's thinking they're going there with skeptics, but all of a sudden what they talk about, the fight. Let's see what happens. Saturday night, Sunday morning.
Boxing, Boomaye. Radio Rahim with Johnny Nelson.
Boomaye.